So we got breaking news. Julio Rodriguez has just won AL Rookie of the Year, and I must say, congratulations. And this is the fifth Mariner in Mariners history to win this award. 1984, Alvin Davis; 2000, Kazuhiro Sasaki; 2001, Ichiro Suzuki; 2020, Kyle Lewis; and now 2022, Julio Rodriguez. And what a time it has been since 2019. I remember I started following him. I remember he suffered an injury when he was in the minors, but other than that, I did follow a little bit of him throughout his entire time in the minors. I remember going to an Everett game with a good friend of mine, and I watched him hit a home run. And a really funny story. So I was looking at seats, and I had a choice either between the right field area, the grass area where you can catch home runs if anyone hits it there, or I was going to just sit on the side behind the dugout and just get a really close view so I can hear umpires screaming, balls popping on the gloves, just anything, just feel that baseball atmosphere. So I chose the seats behind the dugout. I think it was a visiting team. I mean, this was May 2021, so I'm not going to remember. Or it could have been June. See, that's how long it has been. So I took those seats, not the grass area. And what did Julio do? It's a home run to right field where I could have caught it. And I definitely would have gotten an autograph from him with that ball because I did get an autograph Julio Rodriguez rookie card. Now, I bought it when he didn't autograph it yet, but here it is so far. Yep, that is his rookie card. He did autograph it. And yeah, when I met the man, he was a cool guy. And it was kind of funny how it happened. So, what happened was I was just handing him the card and he just signed it. And I said, Gracias, amigo. And he goes, De nada. And then as soon as I turned around, he kind of made a joke because I was wearing an Alex Rodriguez shirt. And let me just show you that in just a few moments. And a few moments later, yeah, you see it? Rodriguez, because Alex Rodriguez was my favorite player on the Mariners, and he still is of all time. I know it's an unpopular opinion. Oh, yeah, and as you can see, this is also his little action figure statue. Yep. And if you want to put in those comments that of saying stuff like, how dare you? How could you be an A-Rod fan? I go, yeah, sure, whatever. It's my opinion, whatever. So anyways, as soon as he saw me wearing that shirt, that number 3, he goes, hey, you need to change that to number 44. And I go, yeah, that's true, but wasn't A-Rod your favorite player growing up? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's true, because Alex Rodriguez was his favorite player growing up. But anyways, before I get too sidetracked, but yeah, there was a picture of me with him. I didn't necessarily take the picture or like do like a portrait kind of picture. I just had my friend behind me. He just took the picture while I was getting his autograph. It was a pretty good picture, and here's the picture. So yeah, throughout the entire season, like the beginning of the season, it was spring training. Like I was expecting him to maybe play starting in maybe July or September throughout the season because that's at the time when I thought Jared Kelnick was going to lead the show for the Mariners, but that didn't happen. But he played so well in spring training that they just put him on the team anyway. And next thing you know, excuse me, he was, well, first, he did struggle in April, but then he took off and then went into the home run derby, won second place, went into the All-Star game. And I must say, what an incredible accomplishment it was. Although he did go through some injuries and he didn't contribute much in the playoffs, nonetheless, he still performed really well, still contributed to the team. And who would have thought that on his rookie season, he would help lead the Mariners to the playoffs? Just incredible. And some of the things I do like about him, about his personality. So, a few things. So, there was one time when I was at a Blue Jays game at the Mariners. This was in July. He hit a pop fly to the catcher, and then right after the catcher caught it, Julio slapped the catcher in the butt. Now, I looked it up on YouTube to see if there was a video, but there wasn't. And maybe I should have filmed it, but I was just trying to enjoy the game. I didn't want to do something where I'm just like filming this like this throughout the entire game. But yeah, that happened. and I guess I'm the only witness that is actually talking about it. But I guess I guess a game or two later, Julio tried he nearly hit a home run. It was almost going to be a home run, but it was off the wall. Then he tried to go for third base, and he just happened to slip, and he tried to crawl his way, and he was tagged out. But he took it pretty lightly, and he made an Instagram post about him making fun of himself, which, hey, it's a good sport, and really shows his personality of how much he gets over things, and he just has that kind of just that positive attitude that not many people can possess, and it seemed to have spread throughout the team. And I mean, honestly, you didn't have to say good vibes only. Just show your good vibes by showing that everything's okay when things are not going good, and just play to win. And I'm hoping for next year and going forward that he will be the franchise player of the future and hopefully lead the Mariners to the World Series, as he did sign that large extension. Thank goodness they got that out of the way, because I was thinking, wow, if the Mariners don't extend this guy and he leaves, that's going to be a second Rodriguez leaving, and I don't think we need that in our history books, as if losing A-Rod was tough enough. But anyways, going into the next season, let's hope Julio plays better than he did last year and contribute to, hopefully, sooner than later, a World Series champion for the Mariners. Anyways, congratulations, Julio. So we do have breaking news. It looks like the Mariners have traded for Teoscar Hernandez from the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the trade package that the Mariners got out of him, here's what it was. So they traded away Eric Swanson and Adam Macko. Now, who are they? So, of course, Eric Swanson was one of the premier bullpen pitchers, which I did like, and I am truly going to miss him. But before I weep about Eric Swanson, let's go over Teoscar Hernandez. So Teoscar Hernandez, I think he was like right field, which I would think that he's going to play right field for the Mariners. Anyway, his numbers last year was 25 home runs, batted .267 with a .360 on base percentage. That part scares me. He had 77 RBIs and 35 doubles, so he does seem to be more of a big impact bat, but could strike out a lot because he has struck out 152 times and only walked 34 times. So that part I'm a little bit nervous, but they are going for the impact bat as they need in the playoffs. He did hit 2 home runs in the playoffs this year against the Mariners. But I was hoping that the Mariners would get someone like a Brandon Nimmo or Yoshida. I mean, Yoshida seems like a long shot. I mean, you never know how you're going to be able to get those international players. But, I mean, I like Nimmo better because he had the better defense and he got on base more. As if I am an advocate of getting on base. I blame that movie/book Moneyball for getting me all into walks and on base percentages. But it looks like the Mariners want to go all in and make that big move and try to get to the World Series. And I would think that he replaces more of that role of Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger is kind of the same thing. His defense, I thought, wasn't the most spectacular. From what I heard, Hernandez's defense isn't that much spectacular at all either. Maybe makes some occasional catches, but when I looked at the highlights, he didn't look that fast. So I was hoping a little bit of a speed kind of thing. But with a big bat, you can't really go wrong with that, and hopefully he makes those big clutch hits. So we'll see. Now, let's go into Eric Swanson. So Eric Swanson, of course, was on the bullpen. I really did like him. He was one of my more favorites. He had a 3-2 record with a 1.68 ERA. And come to think of it, I think he should have been used more in the division series. But yeah, like Scott Servias, like, why didn't you use him? Like, this is exactly why you're not the manager of the year, because of your inability to make bullpen decisions. Now, before I get all sidetracked, here's what his actual numbers. Had a 1.68 ERA. His strikeout to walks, I really did like it. 70 strikeouts and only 10 walks. He had about 3 saves, so that I'm a little bit going to miss him a bit for that. And it looks like that he would be a free agent as late as 2026, as the Blue Jays with Eric Swanson would have 3 years of arbitration options. So, I mean, I guess the Mariners just wanted to, like I said, go for the impact bat, but I was hoping they gave up more of a Flexen or Gonzalez, but of course, I guess their values do not stack up as much as Eric Swanson. So hopefully hopefully either the Mariners will trade Flexen away, will get someone else, or make good use of him in the bullpen, because I do think that he can contribute to that. So we'll see. Now, the minor leaguer that the Mariners gave up, it was Adam Macko. He is supposed to be, now I'm going to point this one out. So according to this guy on Twitter, Joe Doyle, and I really think you should take a look at his Twitter. He has really good points for his baseball. He really knows a lot about the minor leagues. So I'm going to read this tweet. It goes, for Toronto, if Adam Macko can stay healthy, he's got a shot of becoming an absolute shutdown high leverage reliever. At this stage, given his injury history and his track record with command, I'd put that likely of him starting pretty low. So, and yeah, it looks like he had injury problems. Like here, he in his average appearance, he only averaged maybe 8 games in the season, starting in 2019 when he started with the Mariners. But he had decent numbers, I would say. Like, other than 2022, well, that was in Peoria. Not gonna look at that. But in his Everett days, which that is the highest he's gone to, A+, he had 60 strikeouts and 20 walks, but his ERA was a near 4. So I guess Mariners didn't really have much of need of him, since the Mariners do have plenty of pitching prospects for now in the minor leagues. So I guess maybe the Mariners can develop another 1 or 2 and have him go to the majors. But I do think the Mariners should go out and actually get anyone to at least play a setup role or that middle relief role in the bullpen. Because until then, I mean, I see Andres Munoz being the favorite for bullpen closer. I think he should be the closer. He has really good stuff. He is recovering from a surgery, so we'll have to see how that makes an impact on him. But either way, I do hope that the Mariners get anything for the bullpen. Now for the outfield. So center field, it's going to be Julio Rodriguez, no doubt about that. Right field, Teoscar Hernandez, probably. And then left field, you have a platter. You've got Dylan Moore, Sam Haggerty, Jared Kelenic, maybe Kyle Lewis. But there's question marks. Sam Haggerty's coming back from an injury. Dylan Moore, I mean, we saw the most we can get out of him. He's more of a utility player, probably plays more of that role of the Willie Bloomquist, Mark McLemore's, Rich Amaral's. And then, I think I've already said it, but Kyle Lewis, he has injury problems, and I'm not the biggest fan of him either, although I do like the kid, but he just has to stay healthy. And he's not the most consistent with his bat. I mean, just for fun, I'll go ahead and look up his numbers just for you guys. So Kyle Lewis, in his rookie season, because that's the one where I can have the most honest numbers out of him, in his 58 games, 11 home runs, 28 RBIs, he had a 364 on base percentage, batted 262. So, I mean, with 71 strikeouts, 34 walks, but he has to stay healthy. I mean, I'm telling you, the guy has to stay healthy. And then you got Jared Kelenic, where now I really want to look at his numbers. Now, I know that this is one of my more non-conventional kind of videos where I should be editing, but I have a day job that's coming up. So, like I said, starting a YouTube channel, do not quit your day job unless you know for sure that you could be like Mr. Beast. And even then, Mr. Beast took years to get it right. Now, here is Jared Kelenic in his last season. In his 54 games, had 7 home runs, batted 141 with a 221 on base percentage, struck out 61 times, walked 16 times. And it gets better when you look at 2021. He had 106 strikeouts. That's so bad. 36 walks. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement in the left field, because also, as we all know, and as if I feel like I'm beating a dead horse about it, but it seems like Jesse Winker is on his way out, because he still has a 1-year, $8 million left on his contract. I don't expect him to come back at all to contribute for the Mariners, so I would think that they're going to trade him away. Who will take him, though? Who knows? But as of now, it sounds like they're going to have to eat that contract of his. But I do like that he does get on base a lot, but he did strike out a lot, but he made up for it with his walks. So going forward, I hope Mariners still continue to make moves, improve the bullpen, add one more starter, get that outfielder, or at least if you know for sure that you can get Kyle Lewis and Jared Kelenic going. But until then, let's hope that Justin Hollander, now the new GM, he will continue to make the moves along with Jerry Dipoto. And then we'll see how it all turns out. It's only been like week 2 of this offseason, and there's already moves into fruition. Now, before I go, it sounds like the reason that they made such a trade was because Hernandez is going to be a free agent after the next season. So maybe that they're going to look into one of those players like Bogarts, Turner, maybe Correa. I hope the Mariners at least get one of them, but that's, of course, it goes in two ways. Either they are willing to play second base or JP Crawford is willing to play second base. So I would imagine that there will be those kind of conversations that will come into play if they were to join the Mariners. But until then, we'll just have to see how everything plays out. And hopefully they make the right moves going into 2023 to get that World Series. So the manager of the year, it was not given to Scott Servias. It was given to Terry Francona of the Cleveland Indians. Guardians baseball team. Whatever you want to call them. So my thoughts on this was, I didn't think that he should have got the award, but some Mariner fans did not take it lightly. And I was looking at the Twitter and Facebook, and I thought some of the reactions was hilarious. Here's exactly what I've read. It goes, Scott Servias, 2 years running, robbed. Okay? That feeling when you finish third in manager of the year despite breaking a 21-year-old playoff drought. Well, there are many other managers that have taken their teams to the playoff consistently. What did you want from Scott Servias? What did you want him to get? Basically a participation trophy just for making it to the playoffs when it took you 6 years to do it? And that your pitching management is really bad? I never thought he was that good. And I'm glad he didn't even win it last year when he was number 2. And I don't even think he should have been nominated. But the whole thing about made the playoffs inflated it. Now, if you really want to hear more of my thoughts on why I think he shouldn't be manager of the year, check out this video, because I'm kind of tired of saying it. Gets a little redundant, and I don't want to alienate my audience by saying Scott Servias this, Scott Servias that. But he may give me a reason next year if he doesn't make those adjustments, which I'm about to get to. So, what I think of him not winning this award, I think it's a good thing for the Mariners. That means he can focus, or the team can focus on just making the moves like they already did for Teoscar Hernandez. And looks like they'll make more moves going in the future. Hopefully they add bullpen starters, one more outfielder. I would still like Brandon Nimmo. Don't know how much he's going to be worth, but hopefully not a 10-year kind of contract. But end of the day, this whole thing about him not winning manager of the year, I'm glad it's over, so that way fans can just move on. We can all just move on. He can use this as a chip on his shoulder, use it as motivation, rally behind the team, and go for a prize that's even more important, the World Series. Don't we all agree that winning the World Series is much more important than winning some Manager of the Year award, which honestly I think it's more of a popularity contest? I don't think these awards are really based on actual performance. Part of it is, but I think most of it just comes to the big name, and Terry Francona is a big name since he did lift the curse for the Boston Red Sox back in 2004. Maybe this should be a lesson to Scott Servias. If you're not winning Manager of the Year, maybe you should actually focus on being better at being a manager. Use your pitchers more wisely. Don't put in Robbie Ray against Yordan Alvarez next time, as if I've already have said that several times. But make better decisions next time. Use this as a motivation. And I hope Mariner fans don't dwell on this too long, because we have more things to look forward to than winning some silly award. Let's get that World Series. Once again, we got another breaking news. Looks like Kyle Lewis has been traded away to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this package includes just one player, Cooper Hummel, who is been a long-time minor leaguer just like Kyle Lewis was. And here are my thoughts on the trade. So, when Kyle Lewis was first drafted, he was the 11th overall pick in the 2016 draft. And I actually had hope for this guy. He had quite a bit of talent, and in his 2016 season with Everett, when they were the A- at the time, he hit 3 home runs, 26 RBIs, batted .299 with a .385 on base percentage. The strikeouts to walks were very close. He was doing really well in his first 30 games. I was actually considering to go to one of his games to check him out, but unfortunately, he actually tore his ACL, so he had to recover and play a lot of catch up. And from the years of 2017 to 2019, he did try to fight back and push to play, but it looked like at one point, like in 2018 through early 2019, it looked like that he may not even have a chance in the majors. But then all of a sudden, Jerry and Scott called him up for the 2019 season late when the Mariners were pretty much on their rebuilding mode, tanking. First 3 games, he hit 3 home runs.
2-0. High fly ball. Giddy up. Kyle Lewis is first. Big league homer. Fly ball deep right center field. Giddy up, baby. Go, go, gone.
Thinking about the 2 home runs.
Here's the drive deep to left. He has done it again.
It was a home run in each game. And looks like at that month of September, when he hit 6 home runs, it looked like there may have been a chance where he could be a star. And then going into 2020, he won his rookie year, made an amazing catch on the wall in September when the weather was all smoking.
Breaking ball. Long run by Lewis to the gap on the track. Jump in. Wow, he made the catch. Oh, baby.
So he won Rookie of the Year, which there were hopes for the future that he was going to be a great contributor. But even after that rookie year, I didn't think he was going to be the main vocal point of the team. At the time, I thought it was going to be either Kelenic or maybe Julio Rodriguez at the time. But then 2021 happened, and he suffered injuries. And same thing with 2022, was injuries and struggling to play at the major league level. He spent most of his time last year in AAA, hitting 15 home runs, 41 RBIs, batted .256 with a .368 on base percentage. So it looked like it was very unclear that Kyle Lewis was even going to have a role going into the 2023 season. Now that the Mariners got Hernandez in the trade, who's going to play probably right field. Seems like that Mitch Haniger kind of replacement. Then you got Julio Rodriguez at center field. And then left field, I mean, even after this trade, I still feel like it's up in the air. Like Cooper Hummel. Now, here's what I have seen out of Cooper Hummel.
Fly ball right center. Cooper Hummel. Be a nice touch.
Oh. Cooper Hummel hits a fly ball deep to left field. It's headed for the bullpen, and it's gone. 3rd Diamondback home run today. Cooper Hummel.
He had his first major league debut in 2022. He hit 3 home runs, batted .176, .274 on base percentage. Not a great sample size of his potential, but he was the 18th round draft pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. Then he got eventually traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So what do I expect from him? He is an outfielder / catcher. So maybe he's brought in to be experimented to see if he could play that catcher's role while Tom Murphy does recover from his awful shoulder injury, which did put him out majority of last year, didn't really get to compete or contribute. And then you got Cal Raleigh, who's pretty much the starting catcher. I mean, he's the big dumper. They called him that for the reason. But sounds like he's a switch hitter, Cooper Hummel. So maybe they'll experiment him in left field and experiment him in catcher. Catcher, maybe see if he could back up Cal Raleigh for now. But at the end of the day, I didn't think this trade was really much. I think it was just to get rid of Kyle Lewis. Now, I have some people that think that it was Arizona Diamondbacks might have won that trade because Kyle Lewis does have the upper hand on talent. But the question is, could he stay healthy? And even when he tried DH, he still couldn't stay healthy or be productive. I mean, maybe I was wishing that we got a bullpen pitcher out of it since we did already give up Eric Swanson to get Hernandez. But, I mean, it's not like there was not much the Mariners could do with Kyle Lewis. I mean, what were you going to do with him? I mean, you had a choice between like Kelenic, I guess Jesse Winker for now, or whoever they bring in left field. I mean, what we're going to do with Kyle Lewis? There's not much room for him. So I guess they wanted to bring some more versatility to the team. And according to Joe Doyle, who I really do love, I know I said it last video, I will say it again, but Joe Doyle This is what he says about Kyle Lewis. He said, significant question marks surrounding Kyle Lewis's ability to play in the outfield anymore, but his bat has upside, which it does. Could DH for the Diamondbacks since there was a rule change in baseball. Hummel is 27 years old, can play catcher/outfield, who has dominated in AAA, rough MLB debut in 2022, toolsy player with bat speed, better outfielder, versatility pays. So I think this was just a trade for more versatility and just to experiment and see what we can get out of Kyle Lewis. But if you're a Mariners fan wondering if this is a good trade, I would not expect much out of Cole Hummel, but maybe we'll see if he can have a breakout like Mitch Haniger did it's not like we were expecting much out of that because that trade was really just about getting Gene Segura when we got rid of Taijuan Walker and Ketel Marte. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But with this trade, even then, I still expect the Mariners to go for that outfielder, or they will just have to keep the faith with Jared Kelenic, platoon with Sam Haggerty, Jesse Winker, but it's very mixed if Jesse Winker is going to come back. Now, other than the fight, I did look up Jesse Winker's numbers again. He does at least get on base. He does strike out a bit, but he does make up for it with the walks. So we'll have to see how it goes. Now, hopefully the Mariners can shore up that infield and get that bullpen pitcher because I want someone to replace Swanson because it looks like Andres Munoz may be the closer, which I hope he is, but they're going to have to get someone in the bullpen to at least set him up. And it remains to be seen what the Mariners are going to do with their infield because I would like to see them get either the Trey Turner or Bogarts, but it looks like they may ask for a hefty price. It turns out that the Mariners were interested in getting Colton Wong. So Colton Wong, who is he? Let's take a look at him.
Colton Wong blasts one to deep right field. If it's fair, it's going to be 2-0 Milwaukee. It is plenty fair. And Colton Wong with another homer.
Such an effortless swing right here. He's on time, gets through it, 98, pulls it down the line. He's been great at that last couple of seasons of turning that pitch around right there. That is not a safety zone against Colton Wong.
I mean, you're thinking get one and be happy. Colton Wong says, I got 2 gold gloves for a reason.
Just a professional dancer around the base right there. See how he drives.
So Colton Wong is on the Brewers right now, who is still under contract. He was a long-timer of the St. Louis Cardinals. He is known for his excellent defense. Looks like he does have the ability to get on base, as his on-base percentage is an average of .334. Now, I think the Mariners would probably go for him if they can't get anyone like Trey Turner or Bogarts. So hopefully, maybe can bring in Colton Wong. Hopefully he'll be the upgrade from Adam Frazier, because Adam Frazier, as we know, he didn't really perform up to expectations as if he was already an all-star. And Colton Wong also has some kind of speed. He does steal bases. Last year he had 17 stolen bases. So I'll support the move, but here's the thing. He's under contract with the Brewers for now, and it will depend how much the Mariners would have to give up for him. Hopefully it won't be too much for him. But other than that, I would get him if the Mariners cannot get Trey Turner or Bogarts. And then Wong could be the backup option, so he can take over for second base, so that J.P. Crawford can stay at shortstop, because it looks like that's the position that he still wants. So that is today's day of the trades that the Mariners have made, and looks like they're going for Colton Wong. Who knows? And as always, I will still keep you guys updated on these moves. And going forward, every single Monday, I will do the best I can to combine all of my videos with all the offseason updates throughout the week, and then put it all into one package. So in case that you miss any of my videos, you get to see the entire thing. I'll let you skip them around. It'll be split up into chapters to make it easier for everyone. And as if you have already seen, I'm looking to also make 30-second shorts of what I think of each crucial Mariners transactions. So stay tuned for those.